Hello there, and thank you for joining me today for today's meditation. Today, the word surrender kept coming up for me, and I thought that it would be a beautiful opportunity to work on surrendering. But I'll share up front at the beginning that the word surrender can sometimes be a little tricky because surrender, by definition, means to cease resistance, which is beautiful and it sounds amazing. But the word surrender has been used so often in situations where the failure to be able to resist is what surrender turns into. And I think one of the words that can sometimes work better for me is to allow what is happening instead of to be in resistance. So that kind of becomes what surrender is. So before we begin, or maybe as we move through today's meditation, I just want you to acknowledge up front that allowing our energy to change from the places where we're finding resistance and blockages does not mean that we've failed. And there might be some subconscious parts of ourselves that are scared or in self-protection or are holding on for reasons that are good if you asked those parts, right? And it's our jobs as, the captains of the ship to be the ones in charge and to say, I am ready to move through this. I am ready to move into a place of surrender. So that is what I am inviting of you throughout today's meditation. As much as you can in whatever areas are relevant and important to you, allow there to be surrender. Allow yourself to cease resisting. Let's begin in our most comfortable seat here. Begin by finding that sweet breath. And as you settle down, sit bones into the earth, and maybe your back is propped up against a wall, or perhaps you're sitting up nice and tall. At the beginning, if there's anything that you need to shake out through the wrist, you need to shake out through the head, you need to wiggle the jaw around or roll through the shoulders. Maybe you need to fold forward and just let your bodies kind of get closer to the earth. Whatever it is for you, just allow yourself these moments at the beginning to get into a place that is comfortable, that can hold you, and that you can meet it as well. We're going to allow the shoulders for this next breath to rise up maybe an inch, maybe 3 inches towards the ears, whatever feels good. And at the very top of the breath, just hold for 1 beat and then exhale. Soften the shoulders, soften the breath, exhale. Beautiful. Holding a nice tall spine, breathe the breath into the belly. Exhale, let it all go. One more time like that, breathing in. Exhale, let it all go. Invite the eyes to begin to close down if they're not already closed. And see how it feels to begin to quiet the mind. And let the word surrender wash over you. Maybe even asking ourselves, observing if there's any places or pockets of resistance inside of us. And we're not getting frustrated that we have that. We come and meet ourselves with these open arms that are accepting completely of the way and the places that we are showing up right now. We meet ourselves knowing that there is nothing wrong with us and that we come just to find softness and to create more allowing. So let those words either surrender or allow to really wash over you. Like any place inside of your body that is facing a little bit of resistance, like it's being given a huge permission slip that it can cease, that it can let go, that it can rest. And hopefully these places will be met with this relief, right? You can even imagine, kind of in a funny way, that any of the places that are kind of holding up that fight inside of you, it's like you're giving them the snow day that they didn't know they needed. And maybe that snow day turns into a sabbatical or a sheer complete change of life circumstances where they don't feel that need to hold back on. We don't have to hold on to these patterns that can sometimes cause us pain or frustration, whatever it is that resistance is leading to and creating in our lives. And then as we take a few more quiet, slow, calm breaths right here, see if you can be an outer observer of yourself. So it's like you're kind of using this dual-pointed awareness to see yourself from outside of your body. And look at yourself the way you would look after a child or a loved one. Notice if you can see any physical signs in the body of resistance. Maybe it's a pitch of the shoulders forward, or arms a little stiff, or ankles really tight and tense, or knees pulling away from the ground. And see if you can imagine yourself outside of yourself, just gently touching the areas of those body the way that you would touch a friend. When you'd pat them on the shoulder or rub their arm. And it's like this dual-pointed awareness is just ourselves encouraging that everything's going to be okay. That it is okay to let go. And that while it might be scary even to even be in that place where everything can flow and then things have to change, that maybe things can change for the better. Maybe things can change for the better. In the next breath or two, just really feel yourself come totally back to yourself in a very strong and present way. Pulling the breath deeply back into the belly. Maybe even finding those out the mouth exhales where you just sigh it all out. Let's find one more of those. Beautiful. And you're in no rush at all. Whenever you're ready to begin to flicker open those eyes, notice if you feel any different now than when you sat down today. And maybe this feeling of if you've improved at all, or if you feel relief, or if you just feel a little bit more comforted, maybe this feeling you can hold on to it so that it can bring you back again quicker. Until next time.